Got myself a new shirt. I want to say that John Chase did the artwork on it, so it's cool. It's cool.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Hoonigan. Worked out good that on this trip up the coast that Carey Hart was in town, so we spent a good amount of the morning in his shop picking around on his tools and checking out all his motorcycles, and he's got a real cool setup there and tons of stuff to play with, so it's been a good time.
I'm Carey Hart. This is the inside of my man cave or my shop, and primarily what I'm doing in here is working on motorcycles, both dirt bikes and V-twin. So my shop here, originally it started out as more of a bike storage. You know, when I built the place, it's 4,000 square feet, and primarily it was just to kind of house all my toys. Once I got it built and I started spending a lot more time down here, I use this as an office space. This is where, you know, my day job is I own Race Team and I have to do a lot of conference calls. So this is more like my office, but over the course of the last year and a half, when I really started focusing on the V-twin bikes, now it's become more of my fabricating shop. So over the last year and a half, I've been acquiring more equipment, more welders. You know, I have to start getting into the bit more expensive stuff now. But I got my baseline. I can do most of the stuff myself, and now I just got to kind of polish my trade. I'm definitely new to the V-twin world. I've built 4 bikes over the last year and a half or so, and I'm just trying to kind of earn my keep. You know, I'm brand new to it. I got a lot to learn still, but I've always been a bit of a tinkerer. Through my motocross career, I've primarily worked on all my motorcycles myself, so I'm definitely familiar with working on bikes, getting my hands dirty. And now later in life, since I'm retired from freestyle motocross, I'm gonna focus on doing probably 4 to 5 builds a year for myself, and I'm about to do my first company build. The most current project I'm working on, I have an Indian Scout, which I'm gonna turn into a hooligan tracker bike. These are quite a bit more labor intense as opposed to the Sportsters, because these bikes come with forward controls on them. They're new. You know, they're brand new platform, which is nice, but it's a lot of fabrication on them. It's not as simple as just throwing a 19 wheel on the rear and going out racing. So I'm about halfway through it. I've gotten the hard part done. I've figured out mid-control mounts and all the tedious stuff, and now it's kind of getting to the fun part where I get to assemble it and make it look cool. I don't know, my goal is if I can get out and race it 5 or 6 times next year, that'd be a lot of fun. As well as I also do a lot of just kind of, I guess you'd call it like V-twin dual sport riding around where I live at. You know, out here where I live, we have a lot of fire roads, and after a rain, I'd say these things are a lot more fun on fire roads than they are on a circle track. So this thing, the majority of its time will be seen ripping fire roads and climbing hills and riding trails, and hopefully I don't destroy it before the first race.
Hey, Hart, where are we going right now?
Gonna head out to my local track, go turn some laps. Gotta try to stay a little bit polished in the off season. I'm getting into photo shoot season, so gotta turn some laps and keep my game tight.
Carey had some really cool projects on the burner there in his shop. He had a handful of new motorcycles he's building that he'll be releasing here shortly. So it was really cool to catch up and see all the progress on those. And he's got a great knack for doing the motorcycle stuff. I think with the fact that he's ridden motorcycles his whole life, the progression to custom motorcycles and the V-twin, more of the street stuff, it's pretty exciting to see come together. So after spending some time in Carey's shop and going through all of his new projects, we headed down the road to his local motocross track and got to watch him burn some laps. So it was really cool.
shit, Hill? What are we doing?
Oh, where are we? We're on the Central Coast watching Carey Hart burn a couple laps before we make our way to Pismo for the Race of Gentlemen.
We had the guys from Red Cap do some shooting so I could actually get in the car and do some laps. Heath and I did some laps back and forth. Pretty damn fun. It was kind of hard not to set the foot down on that shit. It was kind of hard not to go fast on the beach. It was so fun. The sun was out. There was a bunch of tourists around. I got a little excited and did some burnouts because I just had to. Sand was flying. I was also shooting while I was driving. I got some shots of Heath. But it's crazy to be on the beach in California and just be able to rip around.
Dude, so I guess we're gonna unload Heath's units. He's gonna go rip around. I don't know if he registered or not, but this is fun, man. This is exciting. Some of the most iconic cars in the industry are here, and people. I mean, people that have been doing this, you know, since the 40s. So it's cool. You get to rub shoulders with some of these guys that have been doing it forever. So it's pretty awesome. It's gonna be a great weekend. Rain or shine.
Yeah. Way better that go, huh?
Campground at Traub turned out to be kind of a happening spot with most of the drivers staying there, and it became just one big party. So between bouncing around from people's campsites and trailers back and forth, Delmo turned it up. He's got an alter ego, American Dale, and that's Dale after a couple cocktails, and he came out full force. American Dale was on it, and we ended up ripping beach cruises around the campsite. And Dale turned it up. He was a camp favorite. I think he made a bunch of new friends, probably lost a couple friends.
There you go, brother. Kick some fucking ass. What's happening out here?
There was definitely a lot of people at the event, especially for the conditions of the weather, especially the Californians who, if the weather's not perfect, they usually just stay home. But for us, for the drivers, we spent the whole day in the cars. You know, as soon as we got down to the beach, you were kind of just, you were in stage and you were ready to go. You know, the fact that we got on the beach later than planned, you just stayed in your car kind of ready to go because you wanted to get in as many runs as you could. And we didn't know if the rain was going to open up and get worse or if the tide was going to come back up earlier. The tide was really inconsistent and the rain was in and out. And at the end of the day, the bad weather and the conditions made it more memorable. They kind of made it cooler. You know, at the time you're soaked and you're all soggy, but looking back, it was great.
That's all I want. I'll leave out of this. Stay here. One shot. This is your last time. Yeah, one shot. That's fine. That's fine.